Hello again, welcome back to another set of doodles. Now again, these are not my own. I think almost all of them, or all of them, are not mine. Most of them are from Riley Autumn, and then some are from Pinterest, and I think one or two might be from some other YouTubers or something, but I don't know. But they're all ones that I can do, and therefore I think they're all ones that you can do. We've got some sea animals, we've got some night sky things, we've got some planty things, and a couple of other things as well. So enjoy, and I hope it helps. Alright, so we're going to start off with some sea creatures. So to begin with, we're going to do a jellyfish. For this, we need an upside down U and then close it off again with a squiggly line and then draw lots of squiggly lines out of it. This one's very similar to the umbrella. Now moving on, we've got two different types of turtles. They're the same, just one is easier because it's smaller. So we're starting with the body of it, and the way Riley Autumn describes the shape is a guitar pick, and that's kind of exactly what I imagine. At the head, at the fin, so for this you kind of go round and then bird in. I call it the bird because it's like those birds, the easy birds you can draw. And then two sort of weird shapes coming out for the legs. And then I tried to add a face, which was a bad idea. Now the little turtle, like I said, is very similar but just easier because it's smaller. So again, start with the guitar pick shaped body, add a circle for the head, and then a bunch of blobs for the limbs. I don't know why I coloured it in. And a little tiny line for the tail as well on this one. Onto a crab. So for this we're going to start with a straight line and then again have that upside down U to make the top of it. And then have 3 legs coming out of each one. I don't know if that's accurate, but that's what Riley Autumn does. 2 arms coming out, sort of facing upwards, curved, and then sort of a U/V for the claws. Add a smiley face and colour it in. Next we've got a seahorse. Now this one's a bit harder, but you'll figure it out. So you start with sort of an almost rectangle for the nose, curve it up and then down, if that makes sense, and then round for the belly. Make a tail, close the tail off, then go to the top and make these spikes all along the top and the back. And then I just added an eye to close, like a closed eye. And last but not least, from the sea creatures, we've got a stingray. Now I'm not very good at this, but I did my best. So you start again with sort of a curved shape, and then each one goes in like a dip in and then back out, if that makes sense, as you can see. And then I tried to do the tail, which was a fail, but you know, you can just make a tail. And then these 2 little things for the eyes. Now moving on to the night sky. Now I don't think you can see it very clearly how I draw these stars, but you can kind of just figure it out. It's again that weird sort of rounded shape. And there's 2 different ways of doing it. Then I did a 5-star, so I always start this from the bottom left and just kind of keep closing it, if that makes sense. A moon, which is just half a circle, and then another half circle. Saturn, which is a circle with a ring around it. Then lightning, which I can't really explain, but just you can see what I'm doing there. And then I found this other Pinterest thing, which was a heart as Saturn. So draw a heart with a ring around it. All right, moving on to some plants. Now, first of all, I'm drawing a squiggly line and then loads of leaves coming out of it. Now, next up, I've just drawn a simple leaf. Again, I went for sort of a rounded, pointy shape and then just added these lines. And again, just make sure that they are symmetrical. Now this next one was very much just a spur of the moment decision, which I then regretted, but I made some holly. So again, you need this kind of curved shape, and to fix it I added the actual berries, and then I just did another one to make it look a bit better. Now this is one of my favorites and one of the first that I learned. So do a circle with 2 circles on top for eyes, add a smiley face, and then add these sort of rounded shapes for the legs. And then I had it sitting on a lily pad, which I didn't have to do, but I just added that. But then I realized you could kind of not see the lily pad so clearly, so I colored it in. Now this rose is so easy. You just draw a squiggly line in a circle going round and round as many times as you want, and eventually close it off and add some leaves, and that is it. Now this next one I've definitely done better in the past, but here we are. Started by drawing the pot, and then just literally you just have to draw blobs to make the leaves, and I didn't love it, so I then embellished on the pot. I was like, maybe that'll fix it. Now on to cacti, which are my favourite. So first of all, we do this sort of rounded shape and then have a shape on the side and another one on top. And then I added in, I don't know what I did next actually, I coloured it in first apparently, then I added in the lines, and then I added some spikes all along it to make it look spiky. And by spikes I mean literally just dots. My second form was in a pot, so again I drew sort of a U and then closed it off and had the cactus coming out of it. Now this time I stacked all 3 of the things, coloured it in green, And then for this one, I just did crosses instead of lines or dots, just crosses everywhere. And then I did some open flowers. So I drew some oval shapes first, and then had these sort of, like the cloud, that kind of shape coming out of it. And then I drew some stems and stuff to connect it. I didn't add any leaves, but you can if you want to. Onto some food. Now this one is one of my favorites. First you start by drawing an upside down U again for the bun, and you close it off sort of rounded. Then coming out of each one, like we did with the crystal ball, you do that, and then again that sort of cloud shape, and then 2 straight lines coming out of it for the cheese and connect it, and then round off the bottom bit again, like the bottom half of the burger. And then I added some sesame seeds on top and coloured it in. I love this one. Okay, now we're going to do a donut, which is literally just a circle and then a circle within that. And then I went straight for the colour, but of course you can just do it in black, a weird squiggly line going around it and colour it in. Now this one's one of my least favourite. You draw sort of the start of a rectangle and then sort of the heart on top, and then just a patch of colour for jam or whatever you want it to be. I don't like that one, but it's done. Now for the ice cream, we start with sort of this rounded shape and then have the cloud coming out of it again, and then do another scoop like that. And then a cone, which is just a triangle, and then add the ice cream cone lines. And again, I coloured it in. And then the last in this section is a cup. So again, I went for a rounded sort of base and then match it sort of at the top and then at the handle and close it off. And I added the steam first because I wasn't sure what I was going to do after that. And I don't love what I did. I think I should not have coloured the whole thing in, but again, it's done now. Okay, we're on to the final 2, I think. So first of all, we're going to do a closed envelope. Now, I didn't realise until I'd finished it or started it that I actually just needed a full rectangle. Then I like to start from the middle point. So I draw a little line so I know where I'm going to. And then from the bottom, you don't go quite to that middle point, you kind of go just a bit above it. Now I messed up, so what I did to fix that was I just coloured everything a bit darker, and it kind of hid my mistake quite nicely. Now for the open envelope, you don't do a full rectangle. And again, I drew a middle point. Now this time I started with the bottom one, so I connected the bottom ones to that and then had the top ones not go to that, if that makes sense. Then I drew my letter coming out of it, and then I closed it off facing upwards, if that makes sense. And then again, I coloured it in for fun. Oh, I am doing another thing. What am I drawing? Oh, a tea bag. So straight line, 2 lines coming out of it, and then a rectangle to close it off. Add a little line for the top. And then if you want to make it 3D, you could just add these 2 diagonal lines. And then a little tail to make the label and a rectangle in the end. And then I coloured it in again because why not? Now is that everything? Yeah! So again, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it made some sort of sense. I know it's really fast, so if you want me to go back and do something individually, or if there's 1 or 2 or 3 that you would like to see slower, I am more than happy to do sort of a slowed down, much more detailed version. But also you could definitely look up on Pinterest or on Riley Autumn's YouTube. Those are the 2 main places I found things, so you could definitely look at those as well. But I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know if you want more of these videos. I don't know if I have any more doodles left in me, but we can have a look. And that's it. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!